Okay, this is John Garcia with The Column, and over the years I have interviewed Tony Award winners and nominees and stars of film and television, and of course the Broadway stage all over the nation. But this is my first interview with a rock star turned Broadway actor. This is Constantine Maroulis. Last night, bless his heart, had the opening night here in Dallas of Jekyll and Hyde, which is having a national tour and then here on Broadway, April 2013 at the Richard Rodgers Theatre. So welcome back again to Dallas, Constantine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
Now, Constantine actually, in that world of Facebook, we became Facebook pals. He had gotten a hold of the Rock of Ages review that I did, and we talked back and forth. And he said, well, you know, if we ever are in the same city, hit me up. And I did the minute he got here in Dallas.
Look at that.
We'll get the this part out real quick, but because I know you get this asked a lot, and I don't want to focus the interview on that, which is with American Idol. Because
brought to you by Smartwater.
I know that for me personally, I was a fan of the better seasons, such as your season, season 4.
Oh, on Idol, yes.
And that was before Facebook, and to my subscribers, which I told you earlier, we have over 25,000 nationwide and worldwide. I would every week you performed, I would say, vote for Constantine, vote for Constantine, vote for Constantine.
Well, thank you
again. I was a big fan of your voice.
Thanks, man.
And if I'm correct and my research is correct, you are the only American Idol contestant to receive a Tony Award nomination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me.
And even though you've become famous because of American Idol, was your launching pad, you actually have a background in musical theater because you went to Boston Conservatory and got your Bachelor's of Fine Arts. So I think that's what will surprise a lot of audiences when they see the show, that you're not, you're completely have done a turnaround of showing what your roots are.
Sure, I grew up as an actor in New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in New Jersey, in and around the New York area my whole life. So it was always my dream to be on Broadway, to be in films, to be on television, whatnot. Also, I always wanted to be a bit of a rock star, and I played in garage bands in New Jersey, growing up. But I sang in the chorus. I did the plays in school. I did the community theater productions and things like that. So for me, it was just sort of part of my growth. Every step of the way is something significant in your growth as an artist. Really, my time in Boston was wonderful and a great learning experience for me. I soaked it all up. I did a lot while I was there, not only going to school full time, but played in bands and did session work and did classes outside of Boston Conservatory and had to work a big job, as I like to say. I put myself through school. I was a little older, than most sort of traditional undergraduates, but it was that sort of program, when you're sort of ready to go, and if you're good enough to be there, then that's when you're supposed to be there. So for me, the Idol experience was just a tremendous opportunity. I needed a job. I needed a gig. I was working, as much as I could, doing what I could, and tried to make something of the opportunity. And
because you, with Broadway, you went in and took over the role of Sam in The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, sometime after American Idol, I think I sort of entertained a lot of different offers. I was developing a TV series at ABC with Kelsey Grammer's company that went away. I had a record deal sort of situation. I mean, there's all sorts of these opportunities, but again, it's a tough business, and you do what you do. And I was at the opening night of The Wedding Singer on Broadway, a film I always liked. I love Adam Sandler. I've gotten to meet him, and he's just the coolest. And I was like, wow, I think I could be in this show. I think this would be a great show for me to sort of kind of introduce myself back to the Broadway community now that I'm this guy from this television show. Because I was sort of a part of the community before Idol, but no one really knew who I was.
Right. And then you...
so I got a chance to replace an actor that was in the show, and it was an amazing experience, man. Really cool.
I wish I'd seen you in that. And of course, then came Rock of Ages, which I thought fit. I mean, talk about perfect casting. I mean, when I watched it, I mean, talk about an actor with his talents. I mean, meshed perfectly.
It worked out very well. You know, they had first talked to me. Thank you. They first talked to me about it when I was right after my stint on American Idol. I think originally they had me in mind for the rock star role of Stacey Jacks, but the director, actually, I will have to credit her, Kristen Hange, also Tony nominated for her work on the show. She saw me as Drew. She saw me as the underdog, as the good guy, as someone that we wanted to root for and cheer for. And it sort of played into my underdog role on American Idol. I think I came on very strong, but I finished a little earlier than some people had maybe thought or hoped, and it kind of gave them this, something to cheer for and root for me down the road. And that's the beautiful thing about American Idol. You know, you get all these great and talented people and different ages, different backgrounds, and people follow them hopefully for years to come and see where they go. And it's tough out there, but
How did it feel when the day that the nominations came out and you got a Tony nomination?
Well, it was great. I mean, obviously it was a big deal, and it was just nice to have my work recognized, and but still, it's always still a fight, because people that may have seen the show, but it might have slipped out of their memory. Oh, he's the guy from Rock of Ages, I get it, he sings 80s songs. But, they forget that it was,
I think if they had seen the show, it's a lot more different than that.
Right.
Because, I mean, you had this, great, comedic timing with it. I mean, it was really, I've been going, wow. I admit, I walked in going, this is my favorite season for American Idol. Because you were. Honestly, you were. And I only knew you from that, and watching it, it was like, God, he's really good. He's got this great comic timing. And
well, I had thank you. I had a great support system, great creative team there at Rock of Ages, and really a very well crafted and very well written show by Chris Dorenzo. It's not easy to write that sort of humor and get away with it, and he broke down so many walls. I think even opened the doors for shows like Book of Mormon. Granted, that show was going to be a blockbuster hit either way, but sort of allowed people to start thinking that much further outside the box of what we think is Broadway.
Right.
And Broadway is, and always has been for 100 years. Just a wonderful place and platform for talents of all kinds. Really, since the Sinatra days and long before that, songs from Broadway shows have been in the charts, and now more than ever you have U2, Green Day. I mean, how much more rock and roll does that get? You have a beautiful little movie like Once with an incredible adaptation. You have so much, blockbusters like Wicked, and you have huge stars, Scarlett Johansson and Al Pacino, and everyone doing the work there now, and it's a wonderful community.
Oh, every time I go, I love it. I love watching it. So what made you decide to do Jekyll and Hyde, which is really, again, a total different direction?
Well, I've gotten to do a lot of great stuff from Rock of Ages, got to do the soap operas, television hosting, records, and some producing stuff and all that, but for me it's just about really trying to do good work, and coming off the strength of Rock of Ages, I had some great opportunities out there, and I have a daughter now, and Milena, yeah, and so with her in mind, with her future in mind, I try to take on things that just make sense, and the Nederlanders are an incredible organization, and they approached me and the guys that look after me with this opportunity, and I really welcomed the challenge. I knew Frank Wildhorn's work, I knew the sort of iconic nature of his work and his name, and I knew Jekyll and Hyde sort of coming up in the business, but wasn't as familiar with it. Yeah, I knew this is the moment. I knew certain things about the show, but it sort of just missed me somehow. My age range, I don't know what it was. It just sort of missed me. But we sat down with Jeff Calhoun, who I'm just so impressed with, and incredible director. He's doing Newsies for Disney on Broadway.
I met him like, I don't know how many years ago when he came through with the opening night of Annie Get Your Gun when it was revived. One of the many aspects that I think has surprised a lot of audiences when they see this here in Dallas with your performance is how you took some of the songs. They're very iconic and everybody knows it by CD, but I don't know if it was whether your personal choices as an actor and singer or Jeff's ideas of how you took some of the songs and really, like, I mean, especially with This Is the Moment, I mean, you really did this octave thing from Great Stays, but then you went one more octave higher at the end, which the audience, last night, you could hear people gasp and like go, whoa, because you hear one big note at the end, but you didn't. You went one and then one more up.
Do you know, I just think, well, thank you. I don't try to think of it like that, like about notes and flashiness as much as I try to make it, something I picked up in school. Everyone can like riff and all of that, but you have to have some kind of meaning behind it, and something. It has to make sense. Why are we doing this? It's got to be connected emotionally. So for me, that is the moment for Henry. He's a complex complex cat. His father's dying. He's got this beautiful fiance. All of that, it seems beautiful and right in his life, but all he wants to do is save his father and have his work, recognized on the level that he can save others as well. And like me personally, I've had some doors slammed in my face. So he's a fighter, and that's his sort of, there's such a joyous moment for him when he's finally come to the realization that he is, and after meeting Deborah Cox's character Lucy, she puts it quite simply. She's like, I got to make my bloody dreams happen, myself, or however she says it. And he's just kind of like, wow, that's an enviable attitude, and so he does it himself. So it is a joyous moment, and I feel like, I sort of find that in the music, in that scene, and the song is, an extension of the scene and where we're trying to go in the story. So,
is that how you worked on the subtext? Because I noticed that because I have seen it several times, I noticed how the subtext really bled through the lyrics a lot, and in the book. But
I hope so.
It definitely had a very unique and original, fresh approach to both characters. You didn't. It's so easy to go. I mean, other actors can go one way and then the other way of making good and evil, but yours intertwined, which I thought was really remarkable.
It's one human being. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I hope everyone feels that way, because that's the objective, and that's what we're going for. And, I think there's no use in, a great paycheck is awesome and everything, but there's no use in doing this sort of work unless we are breathing new life into it. No one wants to see the same Shakespeare production over and over and over again. We want to see different directors take on this, incredible work and create something fresh and artistic and real and new and beautiful. And that's what we're trying to do. And not everyone's going to get it, and that's fine. It's an over-the-top sort of piece. I've tried, Jeff's tried. We're trying to bring a realness, a groundedness to it. I'm trying to fight against the obvious sort of choices and things like that. But there's going to be some of that rock star flair that people have come to know of my work. I mean, we got to sell some tickets. we gotta entertain as well as fulfill our artistic aspirations and all that. And but
what is the hardest challenge for you as an actor because you're playing dual characters? And
so I was saying before, I think this is one man. This is this is one human being, you know, that goes through this experience. So I think it is intertwined at times, and certainly, and I think when Hyde sort of is introduced, it's a new skin for him as well, but inside Henry's body, you know, and outside of it as well. But so for me, it was about those sort of simple adjustments, and you know, again, I'm still discovering things, and I don't expect everyone to sort of understand or get exactly what I'm doing, but it's hard for me to specifically articulate it to you. But you know, that's the thing. You know, it's sort of this. It's just, you know, we're just telling the story. It's got you know, we meet Henry in one place, and we see him off in a very, very different place. So
another new, shall we say, coding on the show is definitely the sensuality and the erotic overtones were definitely amped up between you, especially between you and Deborah. Woo! Second act. Woo! Careful, careful, no children.
There's some stuff going on there. You know, I think
your chemistry between your two leading ladies is really, I mean.
Well, we're very lucky. I'm very lucky. I mean, we all fought to get Tia Wicks, and she is a huge star in the making. I mean, she's already got a lot of fans, and she's a great artist. She's so naturally beautiful and present, and I mean, obviously her voice is a great gift. She's a great actor and very giving, and there aren't enough words for me to say about Deborah Cox. I mean, she's just one of the greatest artists, you know, of our generation, you know, and she is just gifted, man. I mean, she's really opened herself up to this this challenge, and
you
really
you both play off each other really well, especially in the second act, where it really gets much darker. I mean,
yeah,
the chemistry, even though it is a ride, your attack on her is very intensifying, but it works perfectly with the material.
And we're getting there. You know, it's heavy, man.
How do you feel about returning to Broadway with this?
I feel great about it. You know, the opportunity to create another new role in, I guess, 3 years' time. You know, 2 and 3 years. That's, you know, most actors don't get to do that ever. True. So I've been very blessed, and I feel very confident about the work. And you know, I think it's there's a great place for this show in New York right now, and the crowds have been just unbelievable so far on this tour, and we've had some amazing reviews, we've had some not so great reviews. That's part of the sort of mystery of Jekyll and Hyde. Jeff has done an incredible job with the show. They've opened up the book. Leslie Brickus, legendary writer from Hollywood and the stage and everywhere else, and Frank have been wonderful about allowing them to excuse me. No, that's about allowing them for Jeff to go in there and do his meticulous work. Someone who's one of the unsung heroes of this production is Jason Howland, who did all the new arrangements and for this show, and he's just been tremendous, and he's such a gifted artist too. So, you know, it's really been a team effort. You know, we've been talking about this for a while. It all came together. You know, we put a great cast together. We're so lucky to have Richard White, David Benoit, and, you know, James Judy, and Jerry, and you know, everyone, Blair Ross. We just have a great ensemble, great covers, great swings, and dance captains, and fight.
It's a really solid company. But I agree with you. That was one of the things. First thing that I noticed last night was that a lot of the music had been, the tempos and the orchestrations have been.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times,
which I think actually worked even better.
I think it works because. You know, sometimes it's just hard to justify bursting into song, you know, and have it be a believable, real experience for people in the audience and on stage. So we fought against some of the most beautiful melodies that are in this show, you know, and sometimes it's about sort of speaking it rather than just singing every note how it was written perfectly, because it makes more sense in the relationships on stage and the storytelling. And Frank is just an epic writer. I mean, he's been writing songs for this show most of his life. And you know, we had to take some of the stuff out and build it back up again. And you know, it's a tight, you know, 2-hour production essentially, and you know, it's we've done a whole lot with very little, to be honest. You know, there's just too much overspending going on Broadway these days, and for some things it works, but we knew that we could do a lot with less, and I think we've done that.
What do you, because of the demands vocally, what do you do? And I know a lot of my viewers who are in theater. What do you do to for your voice? Because I mean, your range goes all over the place in that role.
Well, thank you. First of all, our producers have been great about trying to accommodate us, you know, with the sound and whatnot. We're going to be adding some different elements to that to help us stay vocally, you know, healthy and all of that stuff. But for me, it's been a lifelong experience and learning experience for me, and you know, the training, connecting it emotionally. But certainly, you know, I don't drink or smoke. I sleep as much as I can. I rest my voice as much as I can. I try not to talk really during the day at all, you know. I start warming up from the show the moment my eyes open in the morning, and which often I don't sleep because the show sort of stays with me so much. I sleep in these like 3-hour intervals, and it's difficult, you know, traveling, you know, being in different cities. You open the show on a Tuesday night, and you know, there's 2,000 people there expecting to see, you know, a show that should feel like it's been running for years, and you know, we're up there in a brand new space with a brand new sound vibe and a new crew and new dressers and a different stage dynamic, and sometimes the audience is 50 feet away, sometimes they're literally right at the footlights, sometimes the orchestra, you can't see them, sometimes you can, you know, so it's just, all of these things are thankless elements that people don't really recognize when we're opening on a random Tuesday and they're all like just ready to sort of tear you up, you know. But it was an awesome opening here in Dallas, and I've been to the Opera House before with Rock of Ages, which was helpful. And I'm in the same dressing room, you know, I have the same dresser, you know, so that helped. But it'll be nice when we get to New York and we know what the given circumstances are as far as, like, you know, production and all that. We're going to be adding some things to the show, which we're excited about. Just, you know, some minor things. We're stoked, man. We'll be open in April.
Well, I on behalf of everyone here, I hope everyone will come see it as a Windspear, Jekyll and Hyde, and I wish you much success. I managed to break a leg in April, and I sincerely hope that you get your second Tony nomination for it. So.
That makes 2 of us. Woohoo! No, I don't care about that stuff at all.
Never.
No, you know, more than anything, it's great for the show. It's great for, you know, we have some people making their Broadway debut, so we're really excited for them too. So. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, cool, man. Thank you.
See you later.
A new life. One of the most haunting musicals ever is headed back to Broadway. But first, it's coming here. Jekyll and Hyde, the pre-Broadway engagement starring Constantine Maroulis and Deborah Cox. No musical has ever held you like this. Jekyll and Hyde.